Bad things tend to happen to detectives who wander alone in remote villages. Find out Roland Banks' fate in today's TWID. The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the Man from Lang. Thank you very much for joining me today. On today's episode, Roland Banks tackles Blood on the Altar, the third Mythos pack in the Dunwich Legacy cycle. I am face-checking this, so apologies ahead of time for any mistakes that I might make. Spoilers abound for those who care about that sort of thing. Let's get started. We are set up and ready to go here. For those of you who tuned in to the Essex County Express playthrough, you will remember that Roland Banks came so close to victory in that scenario. Unfortunately, due to a mistake on my part, he ended up dying right at the end in the engine car. So he suffered one physical trauma. I decided to pick up a copy of one of the new talents from the Blood in the Altar pack. Keen Eye, it's a permanent. I can spend 2 resources to get +1 investigate until the end of the phase, or I can spend 2 resources to get +1 combat until the end of the phase. Roland Banks begins the scenario in the village commons. It's a 3-shroud location with 0 clues, and it has the action Resign. This is suicide. We're better off hiding out the night. We have the locations set up as per the instructions. We have the schoolhouse, Osborne's general store, Bishop's Brook, the burned ruins, and the house in the reeds. The location that we set aside was the Congregational Church. I've dealt out 1 encounter card to each location at random. The village common is connected to the schoolhouse, Osborne's general store, and Bishop's Brook. Interestingly enough, Osborne's general store is not connected to the village common, so if I want to go back there, I will have to go either to the schoolhouse or Bishop's Brook first. And from Bishop's Brook, I can get to the burned ruins, and from the schoolhouse, I can get to the house in the reeds. Since I was delayed arriving in Dunwich, I had to add 1 doom token to the agenda, which is Strange Disappearances. Your welcome in Dunwich has been cold. A string of disappearances has left the already aloof townsfolk on edge. Most of them look at you with distrust, and a few are willing to help in your investigation. Who knows what will happen if you don't find the location of the missing townsfolk soon? And it has a doom threshold of 6. Act 1A is Searching for Answers. The disappearances in town may be related to the events in Arkham. You suspect that something awful is afoot. You must find where the missing townsfolk are being held in order to unveil this conspiracy. And our objective is, when an investigator enters the hidden chamber, advance. So our goal is to find the key to the hidden chamber as well as the hidden chamber in order to advance our act. We are playing Blood on the Altar on standard difficulty. The skull is a -1 for each location in play with no encounter card underneath it, to a maximum of -4. So that will get progressively more painful as we go through this scenario and unveil these the cards underneath the locations. The cultist is a -2, and if you fail, you add 1 clue from the token pool to your location. The tablet is a -2. If you are in the hidden chamber, reveal another token. And the elder thing is a -3. If you fail, place 1 doom on the current agenda. Now, we have not added a tablet to the chaos bag so far. or a elder thing, so we won't have to worry about those. We did have to add a -3 token to the chaos bag in the Essex County Express. We are ready to draw our opening hand. We will see what we get. We get an evidence, a guts, a flashlight, a dodge, and an unexpected courage. I am going to pitch everything but the flashlight, and hopefully we will draw a weapon. There is across space and time, which we had to add to our deck because of our failure in the Essex County Express. And there is Roland's 38 special. That will come in very handy, and a 45 automatic. So we have 2 weapons as well as an emergency cache and an overpower. So I like that opening hand so far. It looks like we are ready to begin, so we will start the game. I think Roland's first is going to play his emergency cache to gain 3 resources. Then we will spend the 3 for Roland's 38 special, which has 4 ammo. And as our final action of the turn, we are going to spend 2 more resources for a flashlight, and that will have 3 supply on it. That is our turn. We will add a resource and draw a card, which is a physical training. We may not need that. It'd be nice to have that plus willpower boost though. We will add a doom to our agenda and draw an encounter card, which is O'Banion's Thug, because the O'Banion gang had a bone to pick with us after the house always wins, so we had to add the Naomi's crew encounter set to the encounter deck. We get O'Banion's Thug. He has 4 combat, 2 health, and 2 agility, and he will be at our, well, he will simply engage us. So we have something to fight right off the bat, which I think we will have to do. Roland is a 4. He's a 5. There is no we don't get a bonus at the extra bonus because there are no clues at our location. It is a 5. I'm going to spend the 2 resources to give myself another +1, so he will be a 6 versus 4. Let's see what the chaos bag has to say about it. We get a +1. We defeat O'Banion's Thug. That was our first action. As our second action, we might as well head over to Osborne's General Store to see what's going on there. We will flip this over. It is a 2-shroud location with 1 clue per investigator. You cannot gain resources while you are in Osborne's General Store, and it has the free trigger. If there are no clues here, draw the encounter card underneath Osborne's General Store, group limit once per game. Alright, that's easy enough, so we need to grab this clue in order to discover the encounter card beneath it. So I guess our third action of the game will be to investigate. We are a 3 versus 2. We will spend 1 resource from our flashlight to make that a 0. So it is a 3 versus 0. Let's see how we do here. That is a -3. Fortunately, we do succeed, so we will grab that clue. And as the free trigger, if there are no clues here, draw the encounter card underneath Osborne's General Store. So let's see what we get here. We find the key to the chamber. That was pretty nice to happen right off the bat. Revelation, take control of the key to the chamber. It has the free trigger. If the hidden chamber is connected to your location, attach key to the chamber to the hidden chamber. So we will take control of that. So now we need to find the hidden chamber. We have 4 locations to check. That was a pretty nice turn, actually. We'll have to, hopefully we can discover this hidden chamber quickly. I don't want to lose any of my people to being sacrificed. Roland will gain a resource and draw a card. There's his second 45 automatic. So we're armed to the teeth for this scenario. We will add a doom to our agenda and draw an encounter card. It is Strange Signs. It's a revelation. Test intellect 3. If you fail, add 1 clue from the token pool to your location. 2 clues instead if there are 3 or 4 investigators in the game. That's not terrible. It's not going to affect us really in any way if we fail this. So I'm going to go 3 versus 3 straight up. And we get another -3, so we have to add a clue there. But that is fine because we have already grabbed the encounter card. So which way do we go? That is a good question. Do we go to Bishop's Brook or the schoolhouse? I think I'm going to go to Bishop's Brook first. As our first action, we will flip it over. It is a 3-shroud location with 2 clues, and it has the text, if there is an investigator at Bishop's Brook, other investigators cannot enter Bishop's Brook. So that doesn't affect us in any way. And it has the free trigger. If there are no clues here, draw the encounter card underneath Bishop's Brook, group limit once per game. There are 2 clues there, so we are going to spend... We will spend a resource supply off of our flashlight in order to make it a 3 versus 1. Let's see how we do. There's another -3, so that is a failure. Now maybe we should have been using Keen Eye. That is an interesting choice. I should have been using Keen Eye before I did that. That would have given me +1 for the phase. So I think we're just going to have to go straight up this time. What are we? Well, if we get the cultist, we'd have to add a clue, which would be quite bad. And the skull is a -1. So I'm just going to go straight up. We'll see how we do. We get a 0. Well, that's fortunate for us. We will grab a clue there. So we have 1 clue left to grab there. We will gain a resource and a card. There is a guts. We will add a doom to our agenda and draw an encounter card. It is Sordid and Silent. It is a revelation. Attach Sordid and Silent to your location. Forced, at the end of the round, each investigator at attached location takes 1 horror. When the agenda advances, discard Sordid and Silent. So this will be attached to Bishop's Brook. And at the end of the round, we will take a horror if we are there. I definitely do not want to be there. Roland does not have a whole lot of sanity to spare. So I am going to spend 2 resources to use Keen Eye and I'm going to use my last token on my flashlight. That will give me a 4 versus 1. Let's see what the chaos bag has to say. We get a 0, so we do grab this clue. So that enables us to use the free trigger to draw this card. It is a whippoorwill. It is an aloof hunter and fairly annoying. Of all the cards in this game, I tend to forget it's always the whippoorwill that gets me in the end. So hopefully we will not forget them this time. So we will bring that to the front. We'll bring our sorted and silent to the front. That was our first action, so we can get out of there. I think we will use our next action to move over to the burned ruins, which we will flip. It is a 2-shroud location with 3 clues, and it has the response trigger. After you fail a skill test while investigating the burned ruins, flip 1 clue token on the burned ruins to its doomed side. Oh, that is a new thing. We haven't seen that before. And it has the response trigger, or the free trigger. If there are no clues here, draw the encounter card beneath burned ruins. So we have 3 clues to grab here, and it is a 2-shroud location. We do have our bonus from Keen Eye until the end of the phase. So that is we are at a 4 versus 2. After you fail a skill test while investigating, flip 1 clue to its doomed side. Alright, well, it's a 4 versus 2. We have 1 action left. We might as well give it a try. Let's see what the chaos bag has to say. 0s and -3s seem to be the order of the day. We will grab another clue. That will end our turn. The whippoorwills are coming after us because they are annoying evil birds. We will gain a resource and draw a card, which is an overpower. That could come in handy when we fight these whippoorwills, when we shoot down these whippoorwills next turn. We're at 5 out of 6 now. For Doom, let's see what encounter card we get. We get another Strange Signs. Now this one's a little more dangerous. It's a 3 versus 3, and if we fail, we add a clue to the location, which will make it that much harder to investigate. The whippoorwills are going to make us a -1, so we are going to be a 2 versus 3. I guess we're just going to have to... It's just 1 clue. That's a -4. That's a big failure. So we will add a clue here. So we will need to grab 3 clues in the following turn. However, Roland can kill the whippoorwills. We can try. It is our turn, so we will use our first action to engage the whippoorwills. They give us -1 fight. So we are at 3 plus 3. So we are at 6 to fight the whippoorwills. A 6 versus 2. So we will spend one of our resources to make it a 6 -2. Let's see how we do. That is a 0. The whippoorwills will die. I will trigger Roland's response to discover a clue at my location. And we have 1 action left, which is we we do have the, it's a 3 versus 2. Let's give it a try. We get a +1. Good stuff. Like it. Alright, we have 1 clue left to find at the burned ruins before we can reveal that encounter card. We will gain a resource and draw a card. I'm really hoping that we do not see cover up at this point, because I really don't want to be having to investigate 3 extra times at any of these locations. Let's see. We drew a dynamite blast. So the agenda will advance. So we advance to First Blood. Whippoorwills gather along the gambrel roofs of Dunwich and begin to shriek in jubilation. The people of Dunwich believe that the presence of whippoorwills foreshadows somebody's imminent death. Do they long for your death, or is the victim someone else? If there are 3 or more potential sacrifices, choose one of them at random and place it underneath the agenda deck without looking at it. Alright, so we have to go. Here are our sacrifices over here. So we will take one of them at random and place it underneath the agenda deck. So we have no idea what has happened. One of the people could have been sacrificed already. That will advance us to the next agenda, which is the Old One's hunger. As the sun sets, the frightened townsfolk retreat into their homes and lock their doors. It is clear to you that many of them know more than they are letting on. A sickening feeling turns over in your stomach as the village's true nature becomes clear, and it has a doom threshold of 6. That leaves us with an encounter card to draw, and we get Kidnapped. Test 4 willpower or 4 agility. If you fail, add an ally asset you control to the pool of potential sacrifices. Then attach Kidnapped to the current agenda. If you have no ally assets, take 2 damage and discard Kidnapped instead. Alright, so we have no ally assets, so we will simply take 2 damage. We are at 3 damage now. It is Roland's turn. Roland has a 3 versus 2 to investigate the burned ruins. Do we have anything that can help besides Keen Eye? Because that can get kind of expensive. We're going to go 3 versus 2. We'll see what we do. We get a -2. That is a failure. It says, after you fail a skill test while investigating burned ruins, flip 1 clue token on the burned ruins to its doomed side. So this becomes a doom token. However, that does mean there are no clues here. So we draw the encounter card beneath the burned ruins, and it is a sordid and silent. We have not found the hidden chamber yet. So that was our first action. So what we need to do, we need to basically get out of here quickly, because otherwise we're going to take horror at the burned ruins or Bishop's Brook. So we can go up to Osborne's, use our last 2 actions to head up to Osborne's general store and hang out there for the time being. We will gain a resource and draw a card. There is our second flashlight. That is going to come in very handy. So that will, we have 1 doom on the burned ruins. So we will add another to the old one's hunger and draw an encounter card. It is the Psychopomp's Song, Surge and Peril. It's a revelation. Add Psychopomp's Song to any investigator's threat area. When you would take 1 or more damage, take 2 additional damage and discard Psychopomp's Song. So this comes to our threat area. If we take damage, we are going to take 3 damage instead. And that surges, so we have to deal with another encounter card. And it is an Ancient Evils. That is not good news. That's going to speed things up here on us. That gets us 2 doom, so we have 3 doom on the agenda. We have 3 doom left before we advance. Let's see, Roland, I think we're going to spend 2 resources. We'll discard our flashlight to play another flashlight. It has 3 supply. We will use our second action to move up to the schoolhouse, and we will flip it. Oh, it's a 4-shroud location with 1 clue. If there are no clues here, draw the encounter card beneath the schoolhouse. So we have 1 action left. We are going to spend a supply and a couple resources, I think, to give ourselves we are a 3, that will be a 4 versus a 2. 4 versus 2. Let's see what the Chaos Bag has to say. Is the Chaos Bag going to be naughty or nice? It will be nice. Chaos Bag is cooperating this game. We grab the clue. And we will use the free trigger to look at this encounter card. It is the Hidden Chamber. So we will put the Hidden Chamber into play. It is a 3-shroud location with 0 clues and has 2 victory points. The Hidden Chamber and the location from which it was drawn are connected to each other. The door to the Hidden Chamber is locked. You cannot enter the Hidden Chamber unless the key to the chamber is attached to the Hidden Chamber. So as a free action, we can attach the key to the chamber. So we will do that now. So the key is attached to the chamber, and the door to the chamber is now open. So we can enter it next turn, since that is the end of our turn. Alright, we will gain a resource and draw a card. There is our machete. That will come in. We might want to get that down as well. I'm not sure how much more investigating we need to do now that we've discovered the Hidden Chamber. We will add a doom and draw an encounter card. Let's see what we get this turn. It is a Servant of Many Mouths. He has 3 combat, 2 health, and 1 agility. He spawns at any empty location and has retaliate, and he has the response trigger. After you defeat Servant of Many Mouths, discover 1 clue at any location. So he goes to an empty location. He's not a hunter. So that's fine. We will dump him. I guess we can dump him in the village commons because we're not planning to go back there anytime soon. Alright. Are we ready to advance our agenda? Or our act, sorry. I think what we're going to do, we're going to spend 1 resource. Actually, we're going to take 1 action to gain a resource, then we're going to spend 3. Do we play the machete or not? Yeah, we're going to play the machete. We'll get rid of the flashlight. I suspect we have to fight something big here at the end from the cards that were set aside. So we're going to prepare for that. And we will use our third action to move into the hidden chamber and advance our act. The act is What Was Hidden? You find your way into the hidden chamber where you believe the missing folk are being held, but the horrors that confront you there fray the edges of your sanity. Bound by chains in a secluded corner of the room is an unspeakable creature with the face of a man. It wheezes and wrestles to free itself as it notices your entrance. The many mouths covering the creature's body are covered in blood and gristles of meat, as though it were feeding recently. With a hideous croak, the creature speaks with 7 mouths. Seth. Then it lurches forward as though to grab you, and several of its chains snap. It says, reveal each unrevealed location. Move all clues in play, including those on each investigator. Oh, that's not good. 7 clues to the hidden chamber. Alright, so let's do that first. The only location that is not flipped is the House of Reeds, and it has a clue. So we have to move a clue. It's all clues, right? Move all clues in play, including those on the investigator, to the hidden chamber. So we will put that one there. We have 7 clues. We've got 1 from the House of Reeds, so we will add another clue and then 7 more. So there are 9 clues there. Alright. It says, spawn the set-aside Silas Bishop enemy in the hidden chamber. Alright, so let's go find our Silas Bishop. He is, I believe he is in here somewhere. And there he is. So we spawn him in the hidden chamber. He is massive. He has 3 combat, 6 health per investigator and 7 agility. He is a monster, abomination, and elite. Silas Bishop cannot make attacks of opportunity, and he is worth 2 victory points. He does 2 stamina and 2 horror damage. So he has 6 health. So he is in the hidden chamber. So we shall see what happens next. So we advance our act. Act 2A is the Chamber of the Beast. The pitiful beast lurches to grab you with slimy arms, its many jaws snapping in hunger. Killing it would be merciful, but perhaps there is something else to discover about this creature. It says objective, if Silas Bishop is defeated, R1, or if there are no clues in the hidden chamber, advance. Well, I don't think I'm going to get 9 clues in a 3-shroud location. That seems highly unlikely. It looks like we are going to be trying to kill Silas Bishop before he kills us. Alright. That was our third action, to move into the hidden chamber and trigger the act. So we will, looks like we're going to be adding a doom. Or first we get a resource and a card. We can't forget that because we're going to need them here. There is our internal injury. That comes at probably the worst time possible. We really didn't need that to happen right now, because we're gonna have to take 2 actions at least to get rid of that. Then Silas Bishop is going to attack us. We're going to take 2 damage plus another 2 from the Psychopomp song, so that's going to hurt quite a bit. Very well. We will add a Doom and draw an encounter card. We have 1 Doom left before we have to advance. There is a Night Gaunt in the hidden chamber as well. How nice. Alright, that is going to make things even more difficult than they already are. Oh boy. We've got the weapons, but we don't have the life, I don't think, to kill this thing and the Night Gaunt at the same time. But we will do our best. So, if we get rid of the internal injury, we are going to take an attack of opportunity. We do not want to do that. We can try to kill Silas Bishop in a turn. That's probably our best bet, because otherwise we're going to take 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Yeah, basically we have a turn to kill him. Very well. Let us do our best here. We've got 2 shots with our gun. We will spend 1 ammo. Just want to make sure we're doing this right here. Silas will hit us for 2 and another 2 from the song, which is 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. And we'll take 1 from the internal injury, which will kill us. Alright, so we've got to do our best here. We will spend 1 from Roland's Special 38. We have 4 fight plus another 3, which is 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. What do we have in terms of... We do have... we can make that an 8 versus 3 if we discard our physical training. So we will shoot Silas for... Or can we just kill the knight? Well, we can kill Silas this turn if we... Oh, the machete isn't going to give us the damage we need, because we get +1 attack, but we don't get the damage because we are engaged with 2 enemies. So if we were to kill the Night Gaunt first, what would happen? We would take 1 from the internal injury, we'd take another 2, so we'd take 3, we'd be at 6, 7, 8, we'd be alive. We would be alive. We could get 1 shot in on Silas, which would put us in a position to kill him next turn, as long as nothing terrible happened to us with the encounter deck. Alright, we're going to do that. We're going to take a shot at the hunting Night Gaunt. We were at 7, 8. 8 versus 3. Let's see what the Chaos Bag has to say about this. There's a -3, so that's a hit. That's 2 damage. We will do it again. So we are at 8 or 7 versus 3. What is the skull worth for each location in play without an encounter card underneath it? So that will be, these are both gone. So each location, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the skull's a -5. That isn't good. And what are we at? 7 versus 3. Alright, 7 versus 3. Let's see, Chaos Bag. Ah! Darn it. There's the auto fail, right when you don't need it to happen. Oh, dear, dear, dear. That is probably going to end the game for us because we are going to take too much damage in the next turn here. So we have no shots left with our 38. We do have our machete, but we are engaged with 2 monsters. So that is going to put us, that'll give us a +1. We'll be at a 5, but we can't kill the hunting horror now, or the hunting night gaunt. So we will just take a shot at him, I guess, or we'll just attack him with the machete. That's a hit, but it's not enough to kill him. We will take 3 damage from the internal injury, and then we will take 3 more from the monsters, and that will end our game. Alright, well, Roland is defeated. He will take 1 physical trauma in addition to whatever else he suffers as a result of failing this this scenario. I wouldn't say it doesn't seem like it is the most difficult scenario. We were able to get the key and the hidden chamber fairly quickly. Silas, to me, doesn't strike me as a particularly difficult enemy to take down with only 6 health. Unfortunately, we just got the dex did not work in our favor. We ended up with drawing that internal injury, which really hurt us, coupled with the Psychopomp song, and then drawing the hunting night gaunt from the deck was also particularly bad. I could have tried to evade the night gaunt, but Roland's agility is only 2 and you have to double the negative modifiers, so that didn't seem likely to happen. I think if I didn't have the night gaunt, I could have taken down Silas. So that's unfortunate. So that is going to wrap up my playthrough of the of Blood on the Altar. I like this scenario. I think it's an interesting scenario. I like the boss fight at the end. It's just unfortunate that the decks did not cooperate with me this game. That's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this playthrough, I'd appreciate it if you left me a thumbs up. If you noticed that I made any mistakes during the playthrough, or you just want to chat about this great game, please leave a comment down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to be notified of when I post new content. If you'd like to contact me, you can reach me at manfromleng@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your elder sign closer. Take care out there and happy investigating.